Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. Once again, welcome to the delayed flight. We are leaving from Paphos finally. It is about time. Let's get out of the bus. We came here with the Icon A5 from Gaza. That was our last flight. And we will depart also with the Icon A5 from Paphos International Airport. I want to show you a few things in the Garmin G3X Touch, which we installed in the plane. There is a wonderful add-on in flightsimulator. There is a link, as you can see, and I would strongly suggest you to download this add-on, and you can add the Garmin G3X Touch in your Icon A5, fully operational, and also together you install the autopilot of the plane, because otherwise you don't have an autopilot. I mean, without the add-on nothing works there. So a very small plane, actually I think it is the smallest plane in Microsoft Flight Simulator, can have features that you don't find even in bigger planes. We will find our plane first, somewhere here nearby, and the truth is that we will be leaving from here.
Huh?
The runway, let us consider that this is the runway. It is quite long, and I think we have plenty of time to take off. Here is our plane. You have a few tasks during the flight to perform, which are, I would say, easy. The first tasks are quite easy, and then there is an advanced tutorial about the Icon A5, and definitely you must keep notes. Let us go inside the plane. Let us proceed to the startup, and whatever will be, will be. First task is the startup of the plane. The simplest startup that you can find. I suppose you know how to proceed to the startup, isn't it? You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? I have showed these things another 4 or 5 times. 3 things only. Valve, battery, and the key of your flying Ferrari. That's it. Was it that difficult? There is a particular setup of the very first 3 cameras that we used during takeoff, flight and landing, which are these 3 ones. The saved cameras, I mean the cameras that I saved, because afterwards we go outside of the plane. Exactly. And your second task is to take this plane, go out of here, to take off from Paphos International Airport. This will be your runway. There is plenty of space, don't worry. You will manage to take off. Your task is just to bring this plane to a straight and level flight. Depart from Paphos International Airport and bring the plane to a straight and level flight. Altitude okay. Until 3,000–4,000 feet, it will be just fine. How do we proceed? Where are the instruments? We don't have any, isn't it? Number 1, you go here. I hope my cursor is visible. Here are the functions of the autopilot. And you click here. Left click. Here it is. You see? Full map. And here is everything you need in order to master your autopilot. First, you engage the heading of your supposed runway, which means you go here. You see this cyan colored sign here on the compass. It is exactly the heading of your plane at the moment. You engage the heading. You don't activate the heading yet. Okay? So here it is. Number 2, I think now it is more visible. You set an altitude of, let's say, 3,000 feet or 2,500 maybe. The commands, CTRL plus page up. And your rate of ascent, Alt plus V, or you just click here, is the same if you want to use the commands or if you want to use the knobs. I prefer the commands, the truth is. Rate of ascent, let's say 1000. CTRL plus insert, 1000. Okay? I don't think it is that difficult, isn't it? And also, since we will not use the VOR frequencies, we press here on the compass and we engage the GPS mode. Okay, it is in standby mode and not activated yet. Once again, you press here and you bring the functions of the autopilot, and that's it. 2 scales of flaps in the icon A5, and let us use them both because the runway, if we consider this thing a runway, it is quite short. While holding our brakes, we release the parking brake, which is somewhere here. Okay, and we're good to go. We only have to stabilize our plane at about 2,000-3,000 feet above the ground. Elevation is close to 0 here since we are close to the sea. And we are leaving. Good. Okay, that's it. I activate the autopilot. Here it is, and we are climbing to 2,500 feet with a rate of ascent of about 1,000. And that's it. We monitor our speed. We have engaged the flight director, the heading mode, our altitude, and our rate of ascent. Hands-free already. I will stabilize it 2,000 feet better. Okay. You see, our rate of ascent goes to 0. And we already have a straight and level flight. Your next task is to change your heading. You will turn and go to 293 degrees turn. Right at the moment, we are heading at about 60 degrees here, isn't it? You will change this and you will engage in your autopilot a heading of 293 degrees exactly. How do we do this? Heading mode is on, as you see here. And the question, for instance, is will you turn from this direction here, let's say 60, 90 and so on, or you will turn from the other side, 60, 30 and so on? Yeah, this is an interesting question. What do you think about it? Of course, you will turn to the left, isn't it? Because 293 is closer from here. If you turn to the right, actually, after you exceed a 180 degrees turn, the plane will start turning from the other direction. So, let us choose the easy way. Here, I go, these two are the knobs, heading up and heading down. I will use the knobs this time and not the keyboard commands. 293. Here exactly is your heading. Yeah, maybe we can have a better look like this. Here, isn't it? This is your real heading at the moment. Here we will change the heading. 293. The reason I like the Icon A5 is also because you don't see nothing at all. I mean, this weight is slightly harder and soon you can learn all the features of the Autopilot. Okay, 294. It is not a big deal. Exactly. 295. Can I change this? Yes, now I use the keyboard commands, which are more precise. 293 exactly, okay. I see some mountains in front of us, so better to climb quickly to 4000. Here it is. I will use the commands this time, Ctrl plus page up. I hope we will not crash. Alt V to engage the rate of ascent, Ctrl plus home, something steep about 1000 feet per minute. Excellent. And I can as well increase my speed in order to climb faster, isn't it? Good. I think I forgot one scale of flaps. So it seems. Soon we will be flying above the Mediterranean Sea. Right at the moment, you know, we use maximum RPM, rounds per minute, and it is good to decrease slightly our throttle. Somewhere here it is more safe. And meanwhile we are climbing to 4000 feet with a rate of ascent of 1000 feet per minute. Our altitude, you see here, is blinking, and soon we will stabilize at 4000 feet exactly. Let us have a look at our wonderful cameras. There is a tutorial how to go outside of the Icon A5. You can have a look at the last clips. It is rather a short flight. I also tried to depart yesterday, but I didn't like the weather conditions at all. Flying today is a better option. Good. Only the interesting parts of the flight, needless to say this, as always. We will not stay here watching the sea for about, I think it will be more than 1 hour. And I suppose soon I must reveal our destination. I will slightly change the sound of the aircraft engine, one engine, because this plane is quite noisy, I think. So let us change this one. Okay, somewhere here maybe. Is it any better? I hope it is. I suppose that you have noticed that we don't have any flight plan. I mean, we just set our new heading on the Autopilot. We just follow our new heading. Now, of course, you know that my favorite tool actually is the VFR map, because here we can have a look, let's say, where we are heading at. And this is exactly the course that we had to follow, 293 degrees. But still we don't have any flight plan, we don't have nothing. And the question is, can we, let's say, proceed and create a flight plan with the Garmin G3X Touch being inside our plane while airborne? And ladies and gentlemen, the truth is that we can, all three. We use this setup mostly. How do we bring the map the map on the Garmin G3X, I mean, not this one here, the VFR map. And you know, by the way, these two maps may show different indications. Please keep this in mind. Okay, you press here on the compass. This is exactly what you do. No complicated issues, we just minimize our map, and you see that we can drag the map with a left click on our mouse. Your next task is to bring your flying Ferrari to Rhodos Island, Greece, the Agoras Airport, ICAO LCPR, Lima Charlie, Papa Romeo. This is your basic setup here. I mean, mostly we use this camera. We want to go to LCPR, if I remember well, the ICAO, which means that you go to flight plan here. Let us bring also the VFR map. Okay. No flight plan, no nothing, you see. And then you go to active flight plan. Exactly. And you go here. You set your destination. Just set your destination because you are en route at the moment. You are airborne. No origin. The Garmin G3X Touch gives us this wonderful feature. We can set a destination while airborne. You can not do this with all planes. Okay, I will close the VFR map. LCPR. It is not LCPR. Then it must be LCRP. No, it is not LCRP. Then maybe it is LGPR maybe? Yeah, this doesn't make much sense. LGRP. Ah, you see. LGRP, Lima Golf Romeo Papa. Okay, so now please have a look. I bring again the VFR map. Okay. And you go here, enter. Exactly. And you see that our heading was just excellent. I mean, I had already calculated a few things and I knew that the heading should be something like 293. So as you see, we managed to have a totally, let's say, primitive flight plan that just connects our Icon A5, our flying Ferrari, with the airport of Rhodos Island in Greece, the Agoras Airport, exactly here. And the distance, it is about 210 miles, something like this seems to be. However, we are still on heading mode, isn't it? We see it here. Please have a look. You see, heading mode is engaged. What we need right now, we need the GPS mode. We must activate the GPS mode and we must leave the heading mode. So how do we do this? We go here, we press on the compass. Have a look, GPS. We set GPS and then we go here to the autopilot and we change from heading mode to nav mode. Exactly, this is what we do. You see? You see that our plane changed course. Not a big change because we already had the correct heading. But our plane still changed course and now we follow the GPS course, our new course, which is directly to the Agoras Airport in Rhodos Island, Greece. This is quite important, so I will show you once again this procedure. You go here if you want to change the mode to nav mode, isn't it? And you go to your compass here, and you go here, CDI source. Which one will be your CDI source? Here it can be either GPS or VOR1 or VOR2. So you choose GPS. And if you go here to your autopilot features, you just turn from heading mode to nav mode. You just go to nav mode and you disengage the heading mode. We still have a straight and level flight. Our heading slightly changed to 291 degrees and we are on course heading at Diagoras International Airport in Rhodos Island, Greece. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time to reveal a secret. We left from Paphos International Airport with only 13 gallons. Here, you see, only 13 gallons, and right now our fuel is about 50%. I want to believe that everything will be just fine and that we will not have to, you know, we can as well land on the water. We have this option with the Icon A5. Unfortunately, yes, we don't have much fuel and still there is some distance, so I want to believe that 10 gallons, approximately 10 gallons, according to my calculations, will be just fine to reach Diagoras Airport, but you never know, isn't it?
Huh?
Now we are closer to our airport, and this is actually where the tutorial begins, because now things will be slightly more complicated. So I brought the VFR map here, and as I said, okay, it is my favorite tool, the VFR map. As you know, here we can see some important details. I mean, 0624 is it, isn't it? The runway of Diagoras Airport. Yes, indeed, 0624. I prefer 06, okay. I would like to land on runway 06, exactly. There is no ILS guidance. We can as well bring the same indications here on the map, because we also have the map on the Garmin G3X Touch, isn't it? How do we do this? We said that we press here on the compass, and here it is. Exactly. This is the point here, as you see. This is the point that we created our flight plan, let's say. It is not a flight plan actually. We're just connected with the airport. Okay. Exactly. I can as well slightly magnify. It is quite handy. It is quite handy. And we're coming from here, and our runway is this one, which means that I must circle the island. Maybe I will accelerate time once again and we will continue soon with the most interesting part of the flight. And as I said, you must keep notes in order to remember these things if you want to know how to use the Garmin G3X advanced features. You know, we are running out of fuel. I mean, we have only 6 gallons.
Huh?
I think it will be enough. I mean, what to say? Worst chance we will land on the water, of course. And I can as well, of course, okay, you know, less realistic, but I can as well go here and change the payload, isn't it? I have this opportunity, isn't it? I can as well change my payload here, but I will try to, you know, I hope we will make it with our 6 gallons. I think it will be enough. Okay, now it is getting more interesting. As we see, the weather conditions changed, and also there are mountains on the island. We will circle the island, which means that at this point we will leave the nav mode, the GPS mode, which means we press here, and we go to heading mode. This is exactly what we do. I don't want, let's say, to, you know, to crash on the mountain, and the visibility is not the best. I think 4,000 feet is just fine. We don't have any problem. However, let us turn. Now we use the heading mode on our autopilot. Exactly, let us turn. And let us go from the other direction. Which is more safe. And we will try to land on runway 06. This is exactly what we will do. Excellent. Yes, I think the top of the mountain, actually of this mountain here, is below 4,000 feet. Which is the name of the mountain? Please let me have a look. Ataviros is the mountain, 3,990 feet. We are flying at 4,000 feet. So, since the weather is not ideal, I think it is better to circle the island, as we said, and to go from the other direction and try to land on runway 06. Okay, somewhere here I think we can start turning. Yes. I don't think that we will encounter any kind of problems. Interesting flight, definitely. And as I always used to say, trust your instruments. You have nothing better to do. Rely on your instruments. And now is the most interesting part of the flight. We must choose an approach. Okay, this is all about actually. This is the clip about. It is about mastering the G3X Touch during the approach. And as I said, we want to land on runway 06, so we must choose a transition. And we must line up with runway 06. So how do we do these things? I don't want to proceed, let's say here, with the functions of the G3X Touch, because, you know, maybe it is not safe. Let us wait slightly, let us wait, and soon we will be again above the sea and things will get easier. Right now it is good to pay attention at this mountain here, Ataviros mountain, 4,000 feet. The same exactly as our altitude, isn't it? The top of the mountain is 4,000 feet, 3,990. How we choose an approach. We go here, we press on the compass, okay, again, and then we go procedures here, okay, approach. This is exactly the approach that I would like to have, and this is our transition, this ERIBA here. VOR 6. Okay, I choose this approach, where at the meantime I would like to bring back the heading. Yeah, okay, I'm on heading mode at the moment, so it is okay. Approach. This is the approach that I would like to have. VOR 6. Load and activate. Exactly. And I go immediately to nav mode. Pressing here, nav mode. You see, it is a miracle. I mean, what to say, this plane has features that you don't see even in bigger planes. I mean, it is fully operational. However, it brings us right on the mountain, on the mountain top. Okay. We follow now the GPS guidance, isn't it? And we go. Here is this our first waypoint. Actually, we set an approach at 606 is our runway. 4000, it is just fine. I mean, I don't think that there is any problem. And soon we will be above the sea. Again. So we are descending right now to 2600 feet, something steep, about 1000 feet per minute. Here it is. You see, this window is extremely handy because here you have also your waypoints. We are on GPS mode, isn't it? Yes, we are. And we go to our transition, which is this one here, Ariba. Well, here it shows an altitude of 3,500 feet, but I think this is quite high. We're quite close to the runway at the moment. What about my fuel? Let me have a look. Can I change the frequency first? I don't want much to get distracted. Okay. So I was saying about my fuel. 3 gallons only, you see. Just in time, we arrived just in time. I suppose now we will continue to our next waypoint. This is a crucial moment actually. I hope we will do, otherwise I will disengage the autopilot. The moment of truth only, yeah, excellent. 5 miles until our next waypoint. Good. Which is the altitude on the flight plan for the next waypoint? 1800. Yes, so make it 1500. Rate of descent of 500. Hands free, and we're good to land. I don't have permission to land. Approach. Can I change? I will go direct to tower and I will ask 06 for
Diagra's tower icon of 539er is 9 miles west 1,700 feet with Mike to land. Icon of 539er Diagra's tower. Altimeter 29er.9er 210 flight at 9er. Make straight in runway 06.
winds 95 at 9. Okay, runway 6. Exactly what I wanted. Acknowledge.
Fly straight in runway 06 icon of 539er.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I will descend to 1000. I can as well lower my gear down. Hands free still. Let's say 700.
Icon of 539er wind 09er flight at 9er. Clear to land runway 06.
Acknowledge.
Clear to land
Excellent.
runway 06 icon of 539er.
There is some wind. 95 at 9. Let us go to 500. Good. Excellent. It is like an ILS approach actually. You just arrange all the settings. It brings you right straight on the threshold of your runway. Exactly. Can I go even to 300? And I still have my autopilot engaged, you know. Gear is down, I always check this one. Okay, time to disengage my autopilot. Why? Yeah, I don't know why. Only 9 knots, winds, the terrible. Have a look at your angle of attack. Yeah, that was not 9 knots winds. Anyhow, so gusty was it. Okay, somewhere here then. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is all for now. I will not insist any further. I didn't like my landing. I mean, always. Fuck you. Excuse my French. I'm irritated. I'm irritated with this landing. I mean, that was not 9 knots winds.
Diagorist Tower says the Sierra Uniform Alpha November Papa ready at runway 06 South departure. Says the Sierra Uniform Alpha November Papa 1095.
If this is so necessary, I think it is not necessary.
Cleared for takeoff runway 06. Cleared for takeoff.
The extreme turnability of the Icon A5. Anyhow, I will not go from the other direction. I mean, this will be all. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't like my landing. Unfortunately, this left me a bitter aftertaste, but otherwise everything went just fine. I just wanted to show you how to create an approach with the Garmin G3X Touch and how to bring the plane in straight and level flight. This is what we actually examined today. Thank you for watching this clip and hope to see you soon to the next one. Till then, you take care and bye for now.